Tonight, the overwhelming majority of the country on alert for dangerous and potentially deadly heat. Just north of Los Angeles, strong winds are fueling a massive wildfire, and a random shooting at a Michigan splash pad caps off a violent weekend. First, that treacherous heat wave. Forecasters say it has the potential to be the most impactful of this century in some places. 269 million Americans, that's more than 80% of the population, likely to experience temperatures in the 90s or higher this week. That intense heat is contributing to fire weather alerts across the West. A fast-moving wildfire north of Los Angeles caused more than 1,000 people to evacuate. Red flag warnings there are up. Wind gusts could reach 70 miles per hour tonight. Zohreen Shah from the fire zone. Somara Theodore times it all out. Police are calling the shooting at a Michigan splash pad random. 9 people are wounded, 2 of them in critical condition, including an 8-year-old boy. It's just one of multiple incidents in a weekend of gun violence. Presha reports from Michigan. President Biden out with a warning about the future of the Supreme Court under a second Trump administration. During a star-studded Hollywood fundraiser, the president said the winner of the 2024 race will likely fill 2 seats on the high court, a court that he said has never been as out of kilter as it is today. Overseas, Israel announces a daily tactical pause in the fighting to allow crucial aid to get through amid dire warnings from relief organizations. Tom Sufi-Burridge reports from Tel Aviv. The search for one missing American in Greece ends while the efforts to find another intensifies. The latest in a string of foreigners to go missing on the islands amid oppressive heat. How some states are helping homeowners with a possible break on property taxes. The message from Gordon Ramsay after the celebrity chef was involved in what he calls a serious bike accident. And America Strong tonight on this Father's Day. The dad who gave his son the gift of life twice.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Father's Day. I'm Lindsay Davis. As we come on the air tonight, dangerous and potentially record-breaking heat from coast to coast. More than 81 million Americans are under heat alerts, and that number is likely to soar in the days ahead. There is no escaping this oppressive heat. This week, 269 million Americans, the equivalent of 83% of the country, will experience temperatures above 90 degrees, and more than 20 million will face temperatures above 100. Meanwhile, north of Los Angeles, a fast-moving wildfire is scorching thousands of acres and forcing families to flee. We have team coverage tonight. Zohreen Shah is standing by with more on those dangerous flames. But first, ABC News meteorologist Somara Theodore leads us off. Somara, tell us about how dangerous this heat's going to be.
Lindsay, you know, what makes this heat so concerning is that it will be cumulative. That means not only hot days, but rather warm nights. Take a look. We're still seeing that heat impact much of the Southwest. Temperatures in the triple digits there, but notice how the heat continues to expand into the central part of the country by Monday afternoon and even into the southeast. We're also looking at major heat in the northeast. So much so, heat advisories have already been issued from Burlington, Vermont to central Pennsylvania, with excessive heat watches in effect for much of the Great Lakes. Looking at these highs, we're in the upper 90s on Monday in Chicago. As this heat dome persists, we could be looking at a very significant, if not one of the most significant stretches of heat we've seen in Detroit in the last 25 years. Lindsay?
Samara, thank you. Now to those menacing wildfires, one burning near a major highway in Southern California. More than 1,000 have been forced to evacuate, and hundreds of firefighters are trying to control those flames. ABC's Zohreen Shah is on the scene in Los Angeles County tonight.
Tonight, the urgent effort now underway. Firefighters battling multiple blazes burning in Southern California. More than 400 on the scene of the post-fire near Interstate 5 north of Los Angeles, already consuming more than 12,000 acres. The aerial assault continuing through the night.
Oh, wow, look at that McDonald's.
After the fire broke out Saturday afternoon. To show you how quick this fire came through, workers at this shop said this fire came through and burnt down these cars in just mere minutes. More than 1,000 people evacuated, multiple hikers rescued. Officials describing extreme fire behavior. The wind carrying burning embers as far as 3/4 of a mile from the fire line.
The winds are probably going to be the biggest factor in battling this blaze. It's going to make the effort much more difficult.
The National Weather Service issuing a red flag warning for long duration strong winds and low humidity.
Today, 55-mile-per-hour gusts are possible. Tonight, though, 70-mile-per-hour gusts are possible.
Meanwhile, north of San Bernardino, the Hesperia fire also raging. More than 1,000 acres burning there. And Lindsay, you can see that shopper behind me just got some water from a nearby lake. You can see it making that drop any second right now. And meanwhile, there's a red flag warning that goes on until tomorrow morning and a separate high wind warning that goes on until Tuesday. Lindsay?
That wind and heat, a bad combination. Zohreen, thank you. Next tonight, a violent weekend of mass shootings across the country. 9 people, including a 4-year-old boy, were hurt in what appears to be a random shooting in Michigan. Police say the gunman opened fire at a splash pad park near Detroit. 2 people are dead and several others hurt during a shooting at a Juneteenth celebration in Texas. More now from ABC's Alex Presha.
Tonight, authorities say there are dads in a Detroit suburb spending Father's Day in the hospital after a gunman randomly opened fire at a Rochester Hills splash pad park.
We can only describe the last 24 hours as a nightmare.
Authorities say 9 people were injured. The youngest, a 4-year-old boy, shot in the thigh, in stable condition at the time. His mother with abdomen and leg wounds. His 8-year-old brother shot in the head. Both listed in critical condition Saturday.
Our focus is on, in particular, the one family. You can't imagine running into a scene where there's flip-flops and ice cream cones and children laughing and playing just minutes ago.
This stroller left behind in the chaos. The city says the gunman reloaded twice, firing as many as 28 rounds from a semi-automatic handgun. Law enforcement says the 42-year-old suspect barricaded himself in a nearby home he shared with his mother and later died by suicide. Deputies say they found an AR-15 style weapon on the table inside.
We got to get a lot better at prevention because we've gotten too damn good at responding.
The violence in Oakland County mirrored in other parts of the country. 2 people were killed and several others injured during a Juneteenth celebration Saturday night in Round Rock, Texas. Police say when shots were fired during a fight near a concert stage.
It breaks your heart for a family that was coming out to enjoy their evening, and now their life is forever changed.
And in Methuen, Massachusetts, officials say 7 people were shot, 2 injured critically after a pop-up party organized over social media erupted in gunfire. Police say there were hundreds in the crowd. The victims range in age from late teens to 22. Authorities believe it was a targeted shooting.
It's incredible that not more people were hurt or killed.
There could have easily been more casualties there. Alex Presha joins us now live from a memorial in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Alex, we know authorities say violent crime has a tendency to tick up during the summer months, but let's put this in context. What are authorities saying about crime stats so far this year?
Well, Lindsay, this memorial just wrapped up, but despite this weekend's headlines, the FBI says that reported violent crime is actually down 15% for the first quarter of this year compared to the same time last year. And data from the Gun Violence Archive says that the U.S. is on pace to have the lowest daily mass shooting average since 2019. Lindsay?
That would certainly be welcome news. Alex Presha, our thanks to you. Now to the race for the White House. President Biden and former President Trump both on the campaign trail. Biden's team says they raised $30 million at a star-studded event in Hollywood Saturday night where the president blasted the Supreme Court. And Trump was in the key battleground state of Michigan looking to woo black voters. Here's ABC's Mary Alice Parks.
President Biden warning of the dangers of a second Trump presidency, telling supporters at a star-studded Los Angeles fundraiser last night that this election will have major consequences for the nation's highest court.
The next president is likely to have 2 new Supreme Court nominees, 2 more.
Biden issuing blunt criticism of the court, which right now includes 3 Trump-appointed justices.
The Supreme Court has never been as out of kilter as it is today. I mean, never.
That message appearing to resonate. The Biden campaign announcing today they raised an eye-popping $30 million from the event and revealing a plan to mobilize volunteers around the upcoming second anniversary of the Supreme Court's controversial decision to end the guaranteed right to abortion. Writing in a statement, Americans across the country vividly remember where they were 2 years ago when Trump's Supreme Court majority overturned Roe, sending women's health care into chaos and putting their lives in danger. On stage supporting Biden, his former boss, President Obama, who spoke directly to Republican voters who might be disenchanted with Trump.
I think part of what has happened over the last several years is we've normalized behavior that used to be disqualifying.
In Michigan last night, former President Trump addressing his own supporters, repeating false claims that he won the 2020 election.
We need to watch the vote. We need to guard the vote. We need to stop the steal.
Now, Trump is currently waiting on a major decision from the Supreme Court on his claims of presidential immunity. It will have huge implications not only for that case against Trump over election interference, but also for the future of the presidency. Lindsay?
We'll be covering it all. Mary Alice, thank you. Overseas now, and word tonight that Israel is planning to pause daytime fighting near the Gaza border. Let's get right to ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge, who's in Tel Aviv for us. And Tom, the so-called tactical pause, it sounds rather limited.
Yes, limited to a 10-mile stretch of road, Lindsay, a key access route for aid trucks running north from the only open crossing point into southern Gaza. The IDF saying it will cease military operations around that road every day until further notice, so aid agencies can safely move truckloads of aid sitting on the Gaza side of that crossing to areas in need, as the World Food Programme warns of a deadly cocktail of acute levels of malnutrition, dehydration and infectious diseases in Gaza. Now, this pause is not the total ceasefire President Biden has called for. Israel stressing its controversial military operation in Rafah in southern Gaza will continue. And tonight, Lindsay, the IDF with a stark warning about Israel's northern border with Lebanon, saying it's on the brink of a wider escalation with both Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah ramping up attacks across that border. Lindsay?
All right, Tom, our thanks to you. U.S. officials tell ABC News that a top ISIS leader was targeted and possibly killed during an airstrike in Somalia. According to intelligence officials, that individual has been identified as the leader of ISIS in Somalia and is believed to be the new global leader of the terror group. 3 militants died in that strike on May 31st. This is House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner says that the U.S. has hit its, quote, highest level of a possible terrorist threat. Now to a tragic ending for an American tourist in Greece. The 55-year-old who vanished last week was found dead on a beach. And now Greek authorities are searching for another American tourist, a retired L.A. County Sheriff's deputy. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan with the new details coming in tonight.
Tonight, the search intensifying for an American tourist in Greece. Retired LA County Sheriff's Deputy Albert Calabut, who went missing earlier this week after setting off on a hike on the island of Amorgos. Calabut's girlfriend Debbie and brother Oliver desperate to find him, traveling to Greece to help with the search.
It's a very harsh terrain. You know, they're exhausted. We're all exhausted. And I mean, there's not enough of us. There's not enough boots on the ground.
5 foreign visitors to the Greek Isles have died or gone missing in recent weeks amid a heat wave in the region. Authorities say another American tourist who vanished last Tuesday was found dead today on this beach on the island of Mathraki near Corfu. An autopsy is underway to determine the cause of death. But Calabut was a frequent visitor to the island and an experienced hiker. Greek police are studying this surveillance video obtained by Mega Live News that appears to show Calabut before his hike. He was supposed to meet a friend for lunch afterwards, but he never arrived. That friend alerting Greek authorities, who launched the search, would just ended its 5th day and still no sign of Calabut.
There's still hope. I mean, that's all I got. There's still hope right now, you know.
Lindsay, authorities on the island are saying that Calabut's disappearance could be related to the heat, and they're issuing urgent warnings to visitors as extreme temperatures sweep across Greece. Lindsay?
Lama, thank you. Back here at home, several states are looking to eliminate property taxes to ease the burden on cash-strapped homeowners. But such a move won't be easy or cheap, and some warn that it could lead to a spike in taxes on income and sales. Here's ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
Tonight, some states are looking to lend a helping hand to homeowners feeling the pinch from rising prices, elevated mortgage rates, and now soaring property taxes. This week, lawmakers in Kansas will hold a special session to consider an annual cap on property taxes.
It would be helpful because right now it just feels like runaway property taxes. You don't know what's coming at you.
It'll be their 4th attempt at passing the measure. But proposals to curb property taxes, which pay for things like local schools, roads, and fire departments, have frustrated homeowners across the country and will appear on many ballots this year. Voters in Colorado and Georgia will decide to cap all property tax revenue. Nebraska may take up a similar measure. Idaho and Michigan are considering getting rid of property taxes altogether, something experts warn could lead to a spike in income tax and sales tax.
If you set that number too low, you are tying the hands of your local government.
and you're eroding their tax base.
Years of high interest rates and low inventory sending single-family home values up more than 50% nationwide since 2019. At the same time, the median property tax bill has jumped more than 26% to nearly $3,000 a year, putting the squeeze on household budgets. Linnell Griffith, a mother of two, has lived in Kansas nearly her whole life. She says her family had sticker shock when the tax bill on their home went up nearly 40% in 5 years, which has meant less money for other things.
It means not as many gifts at Christmas time. It means not a family vacation. It means it affects our ability to pay for a college education.
Some experts say Wyoming is a good example of a state striking the right balance when it comes to property taxes. Instead of an across-the-board cut, lawmakers there recently capped annual increases and targeted additional relief to some seniors and veterans, ensuring that those homeowners who need help the most are getting it. Lindsay?
Alexis, thank you. There's still much more ahead here on World News Tonight this Sunday. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, why he says he's lucky to be alive, and his message for anyone getting on a bike. And on this Father's Day, the father and son, and the life-saving gift that brought them even closer together. Next tonight, authorities in Maine are investigating an hours-long standoff and fire in Auburn. 2 homes were burned to the ground. Authorities say they shot and killed a man who they say set the fire and who shot at officers from the roof of a home. Human remains were found in the charred wreckage of one of the homes. Officials say the gunman had just been released on parole. Tonight, Gordon Ramsay says he is in pain but lucky to be alive after a serious bike accident in Connecticut. In a post-accident picture that he posted on Instagram, the celebrity chef says his helmet saved his life. He's thanking the doctors and nurses who tended to him at the hospital and urging everyone who rides a bike to wear a helmet. When we come back, the little sequel that's taken over the box office. To the index now, the Edmonton Oilers are still alive in the Stanley Cup final. They pounced on the Panthers, beating them 8-1 overnight in Game 4, but the odds are still against them. Only one other team, the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs, has come back from a 3-0 deficit to win the Stanley Cup. You can watch Game 5 tomorrow night on ESPN starting at 8 Eastern right here on ABC and ESPN+. Inside Out 2 is taking the box office by storm. The Pixar animated sequel raked in close to $300 million globally this weekend, the biggest opening of all time for an animated film. Domestically, it was the hottest opening since Barbie. Pixar is part of our parent company, Disney. Tonight's Tony Awards are already making history. For the first time, 4 of the 5 Best Director nominees in the musicals category are women. Also this year, 3 of 5 nominees for Best Director of a Play are women. And while many nonprofit theaters around the country are struggling, their work is being recognized. All of the nominees for Best New Play and Best New Musical were developed in nonprofit theaters. When we come back, the father who gave his son the gift of life twice. Finally, tonight on this Father's Day, the dad who has given his son life now for the second time. Andrew Ross and his father David have always been close, but their father-son bond has now been further cemented after Andrew, who's now 15, received a devastating diagnosis when he was just 8.
You got the news that no parent wants to hear of him having stage 4 cancer.
Andrew's form of cancer, neuroendocrine, is rare in children, but Texas Children's Hospital in Houston offered a variety of treatments from chemotherapy and surgery to radiation, some experimental, which stabilized his cancer.
It was a big, tough struggle for a lot of years.
At one point, he had more than 50 tumors in his liver, but his family's unwavering support has helped carry him through.
They've been there right next to me.
While the treatments eradicated all but 2 of his tumors, they did serious damage to his kidneys, which then required Andrew to go on dialysis.
We didn't realize that it would even be a possibility for him to have a transplant. The doctors were very supportive. Once he got to 2 years of no growth in his cancer at all.
As soon as those 2 years passed, David was tested, found to be a good match, and did not hesitate to donate one of his kidneys to his son.
You know, as a dad, you want to do anything you can to be able to take away any type of pain that your kids are going through.
The transplant last summer was a success.
This year I played soccer for my high school, doing normal kid stuff.
On this Father's Day, this father and son duo have so much to be grateful for.
Gratefulness that he's my dad, that he would be willing to give me his kidneys to change my life forever.
So meaningful. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis, David Muir, right back here tomorrow night. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir America's most watched newscast.